Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Election Day. 2019. We made it. Yeah, it is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, which makes it Election Day. Why they chose the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, I don't know. I think they did some research and decided it was the least important day of the year. I'm not sure. It's Election Day. Get out and vote. I got my ballot right here. Here you go. I'll be bringing it to my good friend F. Skip Moore, the Chelan County Auditor, before this day is done. Don't forget, you got to have your, if you mail it, you got to have it postmarked by today. And now you'll be taking a really big risk if you go ahead and stick it in the mail. Now, the postage is paid for. You don't have to stick a stamp on it. But you're a lot better off dropping it off at the numerous boxes that are all over North Central Washington. Drop your ballot off. They'll be there. That's the way to do it if you haven't voted already. So today is Election Day. A lot of interesting races we're keeping a close eye on. Of course, there's two statewide initiatives that you're going to be voting on, and a constitutional amendment, and a bunch of advisory ballots, advisory things that they have no force in law. They mean nothing, so I didn't even vote on those. And then you have a lot of local contested races. The one I'm really curious about, the one I'm keeping the closest eye on, is the Chelan mayoral race between the incumbent Mike Cooney and the gentleman who used to be the mayor and isn't anymore, and now wants the gig back, Bob Getty. That's going to be a neck-and-neck race. We might not even have a winner by 8 o'clock tonight when the polls close. So it is Election Day. Get out and vote. Busy show for today. Lots going on in the interview section, second half of the program. My conversation with David Olson, who is the CEO of Columbia Valley Community Health, and the mayor of Wenatchee, Frank Kuntz. They're hoping to make the Wenatchee Valley a blue zone community. What is a blue zone community? We'll let you know when we get to the back half of the show. Plus, we'll preview a lot of the high school sports playoffs. It's just about playoff time for everybody. Certainly the small schools have now entered the playoff phase of the fall sports campaign. We got news headlines to get to as well. We have the obscure holiday. We got some birthdays. We got Today in History, and everybody is entitled to my Magnati's opinion, and a chance for you to enter to win a family 4-pack of Wenatchee Wild hockey tickets. Stay close for that. Good show for you today, and a gorgeous view. It was a gorgeous view over my shoulder right before we started the show, but the clouds have moved in. We got clouds, we got some fog, but we're in for some sunshine. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi. Now, it wasn't 10 minutes ago when Megan and I were getting ready to do the show that cloud bank that you see there covering the Wenatchee Valley wasn't there. It kind of just shoved right in. It's there now. We still have that air stagnation advisory, but it is due to expire at 9 o'clock this morning. 9 o'clock this morning, they have not extended the air stagnation advisory, but we still have some, poor air quality in some locations. We're okay here in the Wenatchee Valley, but the air stagnation advisory should be expired. Well, it will expire, they say, at 9 a.m. If they extend it, the Department of Ecology, before the show is over, I'll let you know. So there's the cross camera. Down there is the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area. It's a cool view. It's a really cool view. And those clouds are extremely low because that camera really isn't that high. Camera number 2. Where are we off to, Megan? By the way, the clouds will be running off. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. First of all, what are we looking at, Megan? Oh, Greens Knob. It's up to Chelan we go. Thank you. So it's up the road about 40 minutes or so to our friends at Chelan, the Greens Knob camera. That camera is the farthest up Lake Chelan that we have on our Sky-Fi setup. That's an incredible view there of beautiful Lake Chelan, and we'll talk about Campbell's and that local resort before the show is over as well. Good morning to our friends up at Lake Chelan. We haven't used that camera in a long time. Good call, Megan. I like that one. Camera 3. Let's say good morning to the sun. Waterville camera. Hi, Waterville. How you doing up there? It'll be a busy day for Thad Duvall at the Douglas County Courthouse as they get ready to count the ballots. By the way, the turnout so far, not good. Not good at all. There's a lot of people who are registered voters who haven't bothered to vote yet, and, well, you can't vote tomorrow. Well, you can, but your ballot won't count. Get out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. Make a decision. Good morning, Waterville. You're down there somewhere. Camera 4. A slow dissolve to, is that jump off ridge, Megan? There you go. So the cross camera that we started with is way off to the left, and you can see that low layer of clouds, maybe even mixed with a little bit of smoke. That's what's kind of enveloping the Wenatchee Valley. You get up above it, which is where we're at here with the jump off ridge camera, not really a problem. Again, the weather's going to be dry. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be quite mild. High pressure is still large, is still in charge, is still dominating our region. We just got to wait for the clouds to burn off. Sunrise this morning was at 6:50. Sunset tonight at 4:38. That'll buy us 9 hours and 48 minutes of daylight. All right. That's our tour around the valley at 5 minutes after the hour. From the National Weather Service, it's your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling weather forecast. Give your home a hug. There you go. Sunshine, high of 56. Looking good today. Clear skies, 35 for the overnight low. Another day of sunshine and a high of 54. Again, the air stagnation advisory is going to expire at 9 o'clock this morning. We're happy about that. A few clouds expected Wednesday night, 33 for the overnight low. Little cooler on Thursday. Lots of clouds and a high near 50 degrees, but the cloud's going to hold the heat in Thursday night with an overnight low of 36. That means we're going to warm up to 57 degrees on Friday. The trade-off is we're not going to have any sunshine. The high pressure ridge is eventually going to kind of just shift out of position and begin to break down on Thursday. And by the time we get to the weekend, going to be fairly cloudy till we get to Sunday. And of course, Monday is Veterans Day. Not looking too bad, partly cloudy and a high of 54. For Thursday night for the Bridge of Sportsmanship game at Wildcat Stadium in East Wenatchee, lots of clouds, overnight low of about 36. It'll be probably in the mid-40s at kickoff time at 7 o'clock on Thursday. Your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling weather forecast. And I want you to take a look at next week. This is the long-term outlook for next week, and this is the national map. We don't show this to you very often, but we have the national map to show you what we're looking at all of next week. Things are looking really good. Look at the Washington State area. This was the long-term forecast that they really predicted a couple of months ago. They look at all the models and the history and all that stuff, and they are predicting a warmer than normal winter and a drier than normal winter. And this is what it's going to be looking like from November 12th through the 18th. So 1 week from today into all of next week. As you can see, for most of the Pacific Northwest and certainly for most of the West, temperatures will be above normal and precipitation will be slightly below normal to right around normal. Look how cold it's going to be next week in the Northeast, well below normal, but we are looking good. That's your long-term national outlet for next week. 7 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have your Tuesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we're broadcasting live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Just about 9 minutes after the hour on this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we have some low clouds and 30 degrees. They will be burning off. Lots of sunshine. Highs in the mid-50s. Here's what's making headlines. A Waterville man is accused of placing white powder into his ballot return envelope, and that led to an emergency response and a 2-day shutdown at the Douglas County Courthouse. On Thursday, deputies arrested 66-year-old Howard Allen Lane. When the powder was discovered back on October 24th, election staffers left the ballots and their separated envelopes in place before evacuating the courthouse. Sheriff Kevin Morris said it took quite a bit of detective work to track down a suspect.
Election ballots are designed to be anonymous, and that's how it's supposed to be, and generally they are. Our investigators did some sample ballots to understand exactly how it worked, and then they did some math and figured out the most likely candidate, got it down to a batch, and then the envelope itself that had the signature had white powder substance. The ones around it did not.
Now, Howard Lane was still in jail as of yesterday, but Morris said right now he does not face felony charges because the powder found in the ballot was not toxic. Instead, deputies are asking for gross misdemeanor charges of prohibited acts in a voting center. That law covers almost any intentional act that would disrupt voting or elections. Sheriff Morris says Lane has denied any involvement in the scare. Well, fire gutted an Ephrata barn on Sunday night, and it killed about 2,000 chickens. Grant County Fire District number 13 shared these images of the blaze. It was located at a large outbuilding near Neville Lake Road and Railroad Avenue. Officials say firefighters observed the structure on fire around 8:35 in the evening as they were returning home from a vehicle versus pedestrian accident on Dodson Road. County and Ephrata City crews put the fire out within 20 minutes. Officials say firefighters were able to save a few chickens, but nearly 2,000 died in the fire. The cause of the fire is under investigation by the fire marshal's office. Well, a burglary suspect that led Grant County Sheriff's deputies on a 20-minute chase through North Moses Lake early Friday morning. It ended with the suspect surrendering to the K-9 Chewbacca. It all started with a 911 call from a woman about 2 o'clock in the morning who said a burglar had broken into her trailer on Maple Drive Northeast. The woman said the man had left in a blue Sienna minivan. A deputy spotted the van and was joined in the pursuit by Moses Lake Police. Spike strips were deployed that disabled the vehicle, at which point a passenger in the van broke out a window and fled. This is all according to the sheriff's office. The driver, 43-year-old Kevin Beamish of Moses Lake, was told to surrender or be bitten by Chewbacca. He surrendered. He now faces numerous charges. His passenger, by the way, still being sought. Beamish was also arrested back in September after another police pursuit. That one ended in a wreck and a serious head injury for Beamish, who has a long record of crimes and police pursuits. Well, there's a lot of things you can do with leftover Halloween candy, but some Wenatchee students took it to a different level. They performed surgery on a piece of Starburst candy. It's all part of the Wenatchee Valley Chamber's Careers After School program. They had 30 middle and high school students. They were given an inside look at the surgical procedures at Confluence Health. That included a chance to try unwrapping a Starburst with a Da Vinci surgical robot. Take a look at this video. Oh, I'm sorry. There's no video. I'm sorry. We'll move on to this really cool story about a mated pair of bald eagles. They made history in Wenatchee Park, and an East Wenatchee woman was there to document this. This is a fascinating story from our very own Jefferson Robbins.
When a juvenile bald eagle got ready to leave its nest in the Horan Natural Area, Julianne Burtz might have been the first human being it saw. After the Chelan County PUD last March announced the appearance of the first new eagle nest in the park in at least 30 years, Julianne, who's an eagle enthusiast with a new digital camera, decided to stake the place out.
They're pretty amazing to watch them fly over your head. Pretty massive wingspan, pretty incredible to see. And you don't normally get up that close, but to have them so close to town and just be able to go to the park and see them is wonderful.
Julianne started documenting the mated adult parents around the nest after their eaglet hatched sometime in April. By late June, the new bird was ready to fly, and Julianne watched through her lens as it explored the area around its nest.
It's just really awesome to watch them so close and watch their behaviors. The last time I saw the baby was, or the juvenile eagle, sitting up in a tree above my head for 2 hours.
Julianne says the fledgling bird vanished from the park, but the parents, who mate for life, returned to the nest this fall. She's anxious to see if any new life appears next spring. Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Good stuff from Jefferson Robbins. Yeah, I like that story. That's good. 14 minutes after the hour. That's what's making headlines on this Election Day, Tuesday. Once again, it's Election Day. A lot of decisions to be made. If you are a registered voter, you have until 8 o'clock to get your ballots in to the local drop boxes. They will all be monitored by election officials. At 8 o'clock, that's it. They lock the boxes. You can't put the ballot back in anymore. All right, remember that. So your best bet now, today, since it is Election Day, is to simply drop your ballot off at any of the Dropbox locations all over North Central Washington or at your local county courthouse. If you so desire, if you stick it in the mail, you run the risk of your ballot not being postmarked today, in which case your vote doesn't count, and we will post election results as soon as they are available to us from the local auditor's office via their websites and the Secretary of State's website when they become available after 8 o'clock tonight right here on the NCW Live channel, on our website, and on our Facebook page. That's what's making headlines on this Tuesday. Some of the stories we're working on tonight. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, it looks like some changes in our weather pattern coming up by this weekend. I'll have your complete forecast. And Eric Granstrom will continue to preview the upcoming Wenatchee versus Eastmont soccer and football matchups. That and much more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Once again, we have some low-lying clouds and 30 degrees. They'll be burning off. Beautiful day today. If you got the day off, get out and enjoy. We'll be up in the mid-50s, and we'll be for the next couple of days. No real precipitation at all in the forecast. It's been a dry start to the month of November. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, and everyone's entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. Look at the bottom of your screen. That's how you get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. If you got something out there that you think we should be keeping a close eye on, you got a news tip, let us know about it. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you that way. Drop us a line. If you go to our website at ncwlife.com, you'll see a Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Fill out the form and push send, and we'll get it here. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Are the rumors true, Corey?
Yes, they are, and you're going to love what we're doing at Sangster Buick GMC. Hi, Corey Sangster with a special offer. $49 down delivers. At Sangster Buick GMC, just $49 down and you're driving the vehicle of your dreams. Save thousands with below-market financing during our year-end closeout. Yes, the rumors are true. Just $49 down delivers. Choose your vehicle and compare equipment, price, and warranty at Sangster Buick GMC or online at sangstermotors.com. Where caring about your family brings you back to ours.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
We're back 17 minutes after the hour. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's do sports. It is playoff time for the smaller schools in our area right here in North Central Washington. We'll start with the soccer schedule. It looks something like that. The District 6 1A tournament, we call it the Caribou Trail League around here. They finish off their playoffs tonight in Cashmere. The Battle of the Bulldogs. Okanagan's in town. Kickoff. It's a loser-all game is set for 5 o'clock. The CWAC tournament shifts to beautiful Jackrabbit Stadium in Quincy. What a gorgeous facility that is. They got a couple of games tonight. The first contest at 5 o'clock. Othello and Ephrata plays in a seeding game. The winner will be the number 3 seed. The loser, the number 4 seed, into the crossover games with the Great Northern League. Ellensburg and Sela face off at 7 o'clock for the district championship. Both teams are already heading to state. Meanwhile, in the District 6 4A tournament, it's a stay-alive game for Moses Lake. They're at home. They'll take on Eisenhower at 6 o'clock. The winner of that game will advance to take on the winner of today's West Valley Davis game, which is at 3 o'clock down in Yakima. Wenatchee and Eastmont will play for the district championship tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Wildcat Stadium. Yep, we're going to have that game for you right here on the NCW Live channel. It'll follow our local news, 6:30 airtime. Sebastian Maraga and Matt Wiesen with the call. So that's soccer. Now we move on to volleyball. Yep, playoff time there. Eastmont hosts Davis in a District 6 4A play-in game. That's tonight, 6 o'clock. At the Eastmont Gym, the other play-in game features Eisenhower and Moses Lake, also at 6. The winners of tonight's games, they will play each other at West Valley High School on Saturday. That's also when Wenatchee will take on the Rams for the district championship. Quincy will take on Ephrata in the 2A CWAC district tournament. That's tonight in Ellensburg. That play-in game starts at 5 o'clock. The winner will then face Ellensburg at 7 o'clock. For the loser, their season is over. The Central Washington 2B District Volleyball Tournament continues tonight in Brewster. Waterville Mansfield will take on Liberty Bell at 5 o'clock. That's for 3rd and 4th place. And then the district championship between Lake Roosevelt and Brewster starts at 7. And finally, the regular season comes to an end in Cashmere tonight for the Caribou Trail League. The Bulldogs will host Cascade in volleyball. That starts at 6:30. The winner goes on to the district tournament at Wenatchee High School Saturday to take on OMAC. Chelan and Okanagan will face off Saturday at 3 for the district championship. We're getting just what we wanted on Thursday night. The Bridges Sportsmanship game. It's the Eastmont Wildcats, the Wenatchee Panthers, the battle of the top 2 teams in the Big Nine. The league championship is on the line. It's just like it was last year, only reversed. Of course, last year, Eastmont needed a win to force. This year, Eastmont needs to win to force the 3-way playoff with Wenatchee and Sunnyside. Last year, Wenatchee had to win. Eastmont coach Michael Don is happy to be able to finally focus on their Cross River rival.
What a great opportunity. You can't ask for any more. It's basically the reverse of last year, where we're both coming in. We've got the one loss in league and they don't. And if we win, we force the 3-way tie. Last year we were able to take care of business and get the one berth, and this year we're another great opportunity to play a really good football team with some really good skilled players. This game's always close, no matter what. I don't think it's been, since I've been here now 4 years, this game's been within 5 points every year. It doesn't matter who's playing better at that time. It just seems to always come down to the wire, and we're expecting a slugfest, and we're excited. The kids are going to have a lot of fun. I think the atmosphere here is going to be great, and I think if somebody stays home to watch it on TV, no offense, they're missing out on a great atmosphere. This is going to be a fun place. This place is going to be rocking.
When we spoke to Wenatchee Panther head coach Scott Devereaux before the season began, he said Eastmont, the defending champs, is the team to beat.
I think you got to put Eastmont still up there at the top. They won it last year, and until someone knocks them down a notch, then that's where they should be. Their offense, the wing tee, I think some teams in our league maybe haven't figured out quite how to defend it yet. I think we do a pretty good job with that. But so, when you look at the overall Big Nine, I like our chances. I think we've matured a lot, and we just got to get to the league healthy and ready to roll.
Once again, Wenatchee is undefeated in league. Eastmont does have a league loss. They lost to Sunnyside on the road 29-28. So the scenario for Thursday night, pretty simple. If the Wenatchee Panthers win, they win the Big Nine championship. They'll be the #1 seed into state. If Eastmont wins, there'll be a three-way playoff between Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Sunnyside. That will happen Saturday in Moses Lake. We will have an extended pregame show, by the way. We'll get going at 6:30 at Eastmont's Wildcat Stadium. Eric Granstrom and Grant Olson. With that, kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. By the way, fans, you want to buy your tickets early at the athletic office at either high school. There will be a long line on Thursday night. Go to the ball game. Check it out. It'll be fun. Seahawks kicker Jason Myers came under quite a bit of scrutiny from fans on Sunday. After all, he did miss 2 field goals and an extra point in the Seahawks' overtime win over Tampa Bay. In fact, his second miss could have ended the game in regulation. Now, Coach Pete Carroll said Monday that he, his staff, the entire team is 100% behind Myers. He says he thinks Myers needs to work on his mechanical consistency.
I think I always go back to the mechanics of it. He's always, there's things that he wants to be really precise about. He's such a good practice guy, and his drilling and his reps and his mentality and his consistency is so good that it's like, that's why we talk like we talk, because we know what he does on a daily basis. And so I think it's just turning the corner and hitting a better percentage of every in all facets of what he's doing. Why it went that way in one game, I don't know. But the body of work has been really otherwise, and so we're counting on him to come right back to his strength.
Seahawks get an extra day to prepare. They're on Monday Night Football next week. They'll be down in Santa Clara to take on the undefeated 49ers on ESPN. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. I got one more item of business to get to. Wenatchee Wild hosting their rivals, the Penticton V's. Penticton will be in town on Friday and Saturday at the Town Toyota Center. I got 4 tickets for you. Now, these are ticket vouchers, courtesy of our friends at the Wenatchee Wild, which means you can use them Friday night, or you can use them Saturday night, or you can use them any regular season Wild game this year. If you so desire, you don't have to use them this weekend if you don't. And I got 4 of them. This is a pretty good deal. You want to win 4 tickets? I'll give these away on Friday's show at 10 a.m. So this is by email only. Send me an email, winner@ncwlife.com. Winner@ncwlife.com if you want to win these 4 tickets. Again, they're vouchers. You can use them for any game you want that isn't sold out during the regular season. Winner@ncwlife.com. Don't forget, it is 1 entry per email address. If you have multiple email addresses, that's fine. You can enter more than once, but it's 1 entry per email address. I will pull a winner out of the hat Friday morning at 10 a.m. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Let's move forward with the obscure holiday of the day today. And today is Love Your Red Hair Day. This is for all you redheads out there. Less than 2% of the world's population has red hair. It's the rarest hair color in the world, unless you go to a hairstylist and make your hair purple or plaid or polka dotted. The gene that causes red hair is a recessive gene. It's the MC1R gene. That means both parents have to have that gene for their kid to become a redhead. But even if both parents have that gene, the kid still only has a 25% chance of becoming a redhead. According to a recent study by McGill University, a couple of interesting facts about redheads. Redheads have a higher pain threshold than blondes or brunettes, and redheads are much more sensitive to temperature. They feel much warmer when it's warm, and they feel much colder when it's colder. So there you go. If you have red hair, this is your day today. Congratulations. National Love Your Red Hair Day. All this week on Today in History, we're focusing on elections. Presidential elections, specifically. This was a weird one. November 5th, 1872, 147 years ago. Ulysses S. Grant won in a landslide. Even though there was some problems with the Grant administration, he was still the hero of the Civil War. He won re-election without no real problems. Horace Greeley was his opponent. The final electoral college count, 286 electoral votes for Ulysses S. Grant, 0 for Horace Greeley. You might wonder, how can that possibly happen? Well, Horace Greeley actually won 66 electoral votes in the presidential election of 1872. The problem is he died on November 29th before the Electoral College actually met and cast their votes. And since the candidate was dead, the 66 voters pledged to Greeley were free to vote for whomever they wanted to. 3 of them actually voted for Greeley anyway, even though he was dead. The presidential election of 1872 happened on this date 147 years ago. 107 years ago, another strange election. Woodrow Wilson, the Democratic governor of New Jersey, defeated the incumbent, the Republican president, William Howard Taft, and the former president, Theodore Roosevelt, who ran on the Progressive Party, the Bull Moose Party. In fact, Theodore Roosevelt is the only third-party candidate in presidential election history to finish better than third. He finished second. Poor William Howard Taft, the incumbent, got third. How bad can that be? In fact, it's when you think about it, you had a former president in Roosevelt, a sitting president in Taft, and the future president in Wilson all running for the presidency. And if that wasn't strange enough, Taft's running mate, the vice president, James Sherman, he died less than a week before Election Day, so William Howard Taft didn't even have a running mate, and he finished third. By the way, Woodrow Wilson was one of just 2 Democrats to serve the presidency between the Civil War and the Great Depression. The Republicans went on a long winning streak back then. 79 years ago, November 5th, 1940, FDR, the incumbent president, defeated Wendell Willkie of Indiana for an unprecedented third term. The final electoral vote here was 449 to 82 because of the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. That can't happen anymore, but Roosevelt won a third term back in 1940. 51 years ago today, November 5th, 1968, a very close election between Richard Nixon and Hubert Humphrey, the former vice president and the sitting vice president. The final electoral college count there, 301 to 191. Alabama Governor George Wallace, who was running on the American Independent ticket. It was a segregationist ticket, essentially. He won 5 states in the Deep South, no surprise there. George Wallace did. He won 46 electoral votes. He's the last third-party presidential candidate to actually win a state. He won 5 of them. George Wallace did in 1968, but Richard Nixon took home the big prize on this date 51 years ago today. November 5th, 1996, 23 years ago today, the incumbent Democratic President Bill Clinton defeated former Republican Senator Bob Dole, the Republican nominee, and Ross Perot. Can't forget about Ross. The final electoral college count here was 379 to 159. By the way, turnout in the 1996 election, 49%. The worst presidential turnout since 1924. Bill Clinton reelected to a second term on this date back in 1996. And finally, at the bottom of the hour, we got some birthdays. Grew up with reruns of Gilligan's Island. I'd come home and make cinnamon toast and watch reruns of Gilligan's Island. Of course, Natalie Schaefer played Mrs. Thurston Howell III, Lovey Howell, on Gilligan's Island. She was born on this date in 1900, died in 1991. She was so secretive about her age, even her husband, she was married, they eventually divorced, even her husband had no idea how old she was. When they filmed Gilligan's Island, she had it in her contract, no close-ups, because she was afraid they would show people how old she was. Nobody knew. She told everybody she was born in 1912. Nobody knew that she was born in 1900 until after she died. That's how good she kept her age a secret. She became a multimillionaire by investing in Southern California real estate, but she spent her final years living with Dawn Wells, who played Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island. Natalie Schaefer was born in this state 119 years ago. Vivian Lee, born in this state in 1913, won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. She, of course, will always be known as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, and, of course, in A Streetcar Named Desire, opposite Marlon Brando. Vivian Leigh, born in the state in 1913. And finally, the big redhead, Bill Walton, celebrates birthday today, 67 years old today. Happy birthday, Bill. Somebody should probably tell him it's his birthday. He may not be too sure. Before we take a break and bring Mike McNaughty on board, plus my conversation with David Olson and the mayor of Wenatchee, Frank Kuntz, to talk about the Blue Zone Initiative. Friendly reminder about Campbell's. The local rate is back again this year. Locals only. You can stay overnight at Campbell's for just $95 a night. I kid you not, that's not a misprint. It's our exclusive NCW Life destination deal. Get up to Campbell's. This is the time of year to do it. It's gorgeous up there. They got fantastic food, fantastic wine, beautiful views, and no crowds. The locals discount going on right now at Campbell's Resort. They've been doing business for 118 years. When you've been doing business for 118 years, you know what you're doing. Check it out. Go to Campbell's website and take advantage of the NCW Life Locals Destination deal while the getting is good. All right, Mike McNaughty's opinion is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're live this morning from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley, from the staff at Collins Fashions. Christy, Heidi, Georgia, Julene, Judy, and I, we are your Brighton headquarters for the Valley, and we are here to assist you with your personal and gift-giving needs of jewelry, handbags, sunglasses, etc. We carry your favorite brands such as Tommy Bahama, Karen Kane, Tribal, Jag, Nick and Zoe, Joseph Ribcop, foundations from Spanx and Shapies, cute, comfortable shoes and sandals. Our staff will style you head to toe at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service, and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
Why run all over town when you can get the financial services you need under one roof? The location is 521 Chelan Street right here in Wenatchee. Accounting solutions for success. Insurance from trusted choices. Real estate, the power of the edge. Personal, professional, preferable. It's all right here. Get the edge on your financial needs. Now available in Chelan as well. Get more information at augustedge.com.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, okay, this new Gillette commercial, based on their slogan, the best a man could get, that addresses the issues of how we raise our sons. Now, here's my take. Now, what's wrong with teaching our sons not to be bullies and not to harass women? What's wrong with that? Let's face it, for far too long, we have been accepting of certain behaviors from the males in our society, which certainly are not the best a man could be. A real man expresses his strength through gentleness, not by bullying and harassment, and that is the truth. This is Mike Magnotti, and that's not only my opinion, that's reality.
I'm Joel Frank, the managing principal of Equus Group and Equus Capital Partners. Equus is a vision, a team of innovative thinkers, builders, and executives. Equus, driven by a passion to protect and grow its investors' wealth through income-producing real estate. Discover wealth management and commercial real estate investment opportunities at equuscapital.com or call and learn more today at 509-665-8349.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Some jobs take more than skill. They require something deeper, an innate devotion to the communities in which we live. At Gisa Credit Union, we help you support law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, and veterans. With every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little. With the Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community. And that's pretty useful for everyone. Make plans to attend the August 30th grand opening of the all-new Goodwill on Columbia Center Boulevard in Kennewick.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. It's called the Blue Zone Project, and it's not a new idea, but it's a new idea that's going to be implemented in a unique sort of way. And to be joining me to talk about the Blue Zone Project, to my immediate left, no stranger to this program, David Olson is the CEO of Columbia Valley Community Health, and to my far left is, I'm sorry, name again?
Frankie.
Frank Kuntz, K-U-N-T-Z, who is the mayor of the city of Wenatchee. David, it's good to see you again. Frankie, as always.
Thank you.
The genesis of the Blue Zone Project in a nutshell, David. Give it to me.
In 2005, the National Geographic does this study, and they found 3 communities around the world. One in Okinawa, Japan, one in Sardinia, Italy, and one, of all places, the United States, in Loma Linda, California. And they basically wanted to know what was it about these communities where people not only lived longer, but actually got more life in their years. I mean, 103-year-old people going out and following sheep, or in the case of Loma Linda, 99-year-old doing open heart surgery. They came up with 9 characteristics that helped a community be just a healthier place to live. But it's not just health, it's just getting more out of life, being connected in a community.
There's a difference between living and existing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it's a fascinating book. Dan, I can't pronounce his last name. Buettner wrote a book. It's an absolutely fascinating book. I glanced through it. It's a health initiative in a way, but it's not really. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'd say, part of this is eating a healthy diet, getting exercise, but it's more than that. One of the things they do in Okinawa is they have something called a moai, and that's a Japanese word for a little cluster of friends that just do life together. And I'll never forget, I was watching this video, and here are these 4 little old ladies in Okinawa. They had gotten together, their parents had brought them together when they were toddlers. They were celebrating their 100th year getting together. So here's these 4 ladies, they're all over 100, and they're there for each other. They have a connection. And part of Blue Zones is basically saying, do you have a tribe? If so, you're going to live X number of years longer. Do you have some kind of spiritual community? You're going to live 14 years longer. Do you volunteer for your community to help other people? You're going to live longer. So it's just a combination of a healthy lifestyle, but also a healthy connection with other people.
Which leads me to the next question. Frank, you're the leader of the Wenatchee tribe, I guess.
Yeah.
Might be the best way to put that. How does the city play into this whole Blue Zone thing?
So I think obviously we're going to help fund having the folks show up next week or this week, depending on when this airs, to help us sort of sort through this. What are we doing right already as a community? What can we do better? And are we committed to jumping sort of full into the Blue Zone operation? So I think our role is, wouldn't it be great to be the mayor of the healthiest community in the United States? Looking on what David said, this idea that these people get up every day with a purpose. A purpose might be to go hold your great-great-grandson or your great-great-granddaughter, or to go have fellowship with people, or to just go work in the garden, or a purpose for living. And when you look at our valley, can we get more people that have a purpose every morning for why they're getting up and what they're doing? And if it makes you have a healthier lifestyle, live longer, have a better life, not just exist, but have a better life, that's going to make our community way better, right? And fewer folks are going to go to see David's folks at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Good.
Fewer folks will come to Confluence Health, and we'll sort of build community, but try to build a healthy community. And I look at the things we're doing now, and man, we've got some great things. I love seeing folks hiking Saddle Rock and biking the Loop Trail, and we have a lot of great things going on. But there's things we're sort of missing as a community. And if you just kind of hit those 3 or 4 things, can we really have a huge effect? And that's sort of what I'm trying to get out of this is, can we do that? And what's the city's role in making sure that we accomplish those sorts of goals? So I'm super excited.
Are they going to help you isolate what those 3 or 4 things that we fall short might actually be? Because I'm trying to think what it might be. I mean, I've talked to you, David, on this show. You are absolutely 100% saying, generally speaking, North Central Washington, the Wenatchee Valley is a pretty healthy area.
It is. In fact, when I first contacted the Blue Zones folks, and I told them to check us out online and so on and so forth, they gave me the clear message, you guys are already down that road. And no small part thanks to the city. We have bike lanes, and we're maybe we could improve, but we're a pretty walkable city.
Yeah, and it's condensed. It's easy to walk from point A to point B.
One of the things that was pointed out to me that the very first Blue Zones community, and there are over 50 now in the United States, was a small town in Minnesota, which is the home of Spam, spiced ham. And the comment was made, if the home of spiced ham can become a healthy community, the apple capital of the world sure ought to be able to do that.
It's called the Power 9. I'm going to go through them real quick. Purpose, as David mentioned, you get up and you go each day and you have an idea of what you want to do and how you want to do it. Move naturally. The 80% rule is very interesting. Stop eating when you're 80% full. I'm
that's
not
my
good at that.
problem.
Yeah, I'm not good at that at all. Downshifting, stress relieving is absolutely essential. I like the wine at 5. That's a great idea. If get together with friends and have a glass of wine. Wine in moderation is good for you, and you can visit with your friends. This a lot of this seems like basic common sense in many respects, but why is it so hard for some of these people, for some of us, to actually do this?
Well, according to the Blue Zones folks, and I agree, the healthy choice isn't always the most convenient choice. Right. It's not always the easiest choice. So Blue Zone communities don't achieve what they're trying to do by guilting or by forcing somebody to do something they don't want to do. It's just making it the most convenient choice. I think just follow the path of least resistance. That's a smart move.
So you think about that. You think about going to a restaurant and being able to get a menu and have 3 choices that are Blue Zone approved right there for you to see. And you say, oh, that's easy. I'll order the whatever that is. Or the checkout line at the grocery store where I go, it's a Snickers and M&Ms. Well, what if you have a different line that's the Blue Zone line that's fresh apples and bananas and things that are healthy for you, fresh nuts. It's sort of, again, like David said, trying to make it easier. I've got this, really weird idea. We're the apple capital of the world. I ought to be able to walk into most government locations in my region and have fresh apples sitting there for anybody to have. It shouldn't be that hard to walk in and grab an apple and say, hey, I'm eating something healthy, as opposed to going to the vending machine and having something not healthy.
Right.
So it's those sorts of things, is can we do little things to make it easier so the next thing you know, I'm eating healthier? Can we have community events where it's easier for someone who might be isolated to say, hey, this is easy for me to go to Pybus every Saturday morning and have a Blue Zone event, and we're gonna go walk 2 miles with my friend. Those sorts of things that all of a sudden get you outside, get you fresh air, get you eating better, and the next thing you know, your whole community is healthier.
It should be noted, if you walk into the lobby at the Wenatchee City Hall, there's a snack machine there, but it's all healthy snacks. I noticed.
It is healthy snacks.
It's the one that moved over from across the street. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to do our best, but there's so much more we can do.
Mm-hmm. This is fast. So talk about this event when the Blue Zone people are going to come and give us the 1C. You guys are going to kind of circle each other around and see if it's a good fit. Talk about that.
So Monday, November 4th.
Okay.
In the evening, there's going to be something called a keynote presentation, and Tony Buechner is going to be there. He's going to be giving kind of an overview of just what's the Blue Zone, where did it come from, that kind of information. Tuesday morning, the next day, from 9:30 to 11:30, there's going to be a presentation that is essentially is open to the community, just like the evening before. And now we're going to start getting into specifics. What would Wenatchee, if it were a Blue Zone community, look like? What are some of the things that the Blue Zone folks would recommend we do in order to get there? There are going to be some breakout sessions during the rest of the day, some with specific groups like employers or schools or healthcare. There's going to be one specifically for members of the Spanish speaking community. That's and by the way, we're going to be translating the keynote address simultaneously into Spanish because we want to be inclusive. At 5 o'clock on Tuesday, there's going to be that wine at 5 kind of thing, an opportunity to just kind of connect with people. And they're going to finish up on Wednesday morning. But like I said, it's they're getting to know us because frankly, if they perceived that this wasn't a good fit, or maybe a couple people want to do it, but there's not support from the municipalities or whatever, they'd say thanks, but no thanks. If we, found out more about them and decided, well, this just doesn't make sense, we could say, no, we're not interested. So really, this is a time of information sharing and education on both sides.
What are you getting from your, and I'm going to say coworkers from across the street at City Hall? This is obviously a big thing for you. The city is a significant employer. What are you talking to the folks who work for the city of Wenatchee about this?
I think the same thing that David said. I think this idea that government, we do collect tax dollars, we have a role. If this gets rolled out in a way that you've seen other communities do it, this is a significant financial contribution or commitment from the region, however you define that, whether it's city government, healthcare, insurance, we don't know. But if you're doing Blue Zone in a big way, it's a multi-million-dollar, multi-year event, and the city will have a role in making sure that our staff is involved in it, that we're participating in a way that's meaningful. And so I think right now it's really this sort of the dance, and are we going to be compatible with what they want? And then if we're really going to do this in a big way, How do we pay for it? What's it look like from an organizational standpoint? Who sort of is in charge of it? Is it something that our Valley Our Future runs? Is it something that Confluence Health runs? Who sort of runs the system that sort of develops the strategies and implements it long term? And so we're doing both. We're trying to see what this is all about, learn more, and then if it's a go-ahead, then what's the role of the city and other organizations in making sure that it's successful? I'm with David. We got 35% of our population is Hispanic, over 50% in the schools. They have to be a meaningful part of wanting to do this in terms of making our community as healthy as possible. So it's really, I want to make sure that they're involved and the outreach is there, and that as a community, as one, we can find a vision to go forward with.
One last question. Now you're busy. Got to cut you loose on both Monday and Tuesday. Who else is on board? I mean, obviously, Columbia Valley Community Health is going to be a part of this. City of Wenatchee. Who else? Some of the other governmental agencies or significant organizations that are going to be a part of this launch.
So first of all, Peter Rutherford and the Confluence Health folks are behind this. We've got Our Valley, Our Future. They're actually one of the key players in this as well. Mm-hmm. We've heard from folks in the schools, both Eastmont and Wenatchee, some major employers. This is everybody into the pool, all swim. Everybody is going to benefit from this.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad we had a chance to profile this. One last thing, David, a lot of people don't know this. David is from our nation's capital, and it is the day after the World Series ended. As we tape this, David is feeling pretty good.
Go Nats.
Go Nats. And I was very happy to see the Nationals win the World Series.
Thank you.
Now I have to be sad until February when pitchers and catchers report. David, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Frankie, keep up the good work.
Thanks, Danny.
Congratulations on your pending re-election.
Thank you.
Yes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
And we're back here from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee, live here on this Tuesday, the 5th day of November, 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Election Day. I know I've been reminding you of it, but I'm going to do it one more time. You got until 8 o'clock tonight to get your ballots into your local auditor's office. Again, there are drop boxes all over North Central Washington to make it as easy as possible. At this point in the game, if you stick it in the mail, you're running a pretty good risk that it's not going to be postmarked today. It has to be postmarked. If you mail it, the postmark has to be today. If you mail it, but they don't get the postmark on it until tomorrow, your ballot is not going to count. It's postage free. It doesn't cost you anything. But again, at this point, if you want to make sure that your ballot counts and who's getting who you do, this is mine, drop it off at any of the drop boxes all over North Central Washington or at your county courthouse. Polls close at 8 o'clock, and as soon as they start posting results on the Chelan and Douglas County Auditors websites, we will provide those for you via our website and our Facebook page tonight shortly after 8 o'clock. Takes a little bit of time. They got to crunch all the numbers and then spit them out there, but be a little patient. And I have a feeling there's going to be a couple of races, local races, that may not be decided by the close of business tonight as ballots continue to trickle in. You just don't know. It's just a feeling that I have. I could be wrong. Let's take a look at your weather forecast one more time from our friends at Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Lots of sunshine today, high of about 56 degrees. The air stagnation advisory, which has been around for the last, about 4.5 days now, it is due to expire at 9 o'clock this morning, although we still have a little bit of high pressure over the area. We still got some poor mixing of the atmosphere. The air is going to move around just enough in the upper part of the atmosphere to kind of mix things out, so they're going to go ahead and let that baby expire. We haven't had any real air stagnation problems here in the Wenatchee Valley. So we're looking pretty good, high and dry through at least Wednesday. Just a few high clouds. Temperatures just about normal, actually a little bit above normal. We hit 51 yesterday. Our normal high for this time of the year is about 50, so we're a little bit warmer than normal today. Once the sun gets going, and the sun is getting going, we'll top off at 56, 35 for the overnight low tonight. Last night's overnight low was 29, so the big thing here, the big difference that you see throughout the course of this forecast is the overnight lows aren't going to be nearly as chilly. We've had very chilly overnight lows. Not going to be the case. Overnight lows will be above freezing. As we get more and more clouds towards the back half of the week, of course, the clouds will trap the heat down on the surface, and that allows for warmer overnight lows. If you're heading out to the Bridge of Sportsmanship game on Thursday night, no rain in the forecast. The overnight low will be 36. It'll be in the mid-40s by kickoff, 7 o'clock Thursday night at Wildcat Stadium. Let's jump ahead to the weekend. A lot of people have a 3-day weekend because Monday is Veterans Day. Mixture of clouds and sun. Temperatures about normal. Let's take a look at next week. This is a week from today all the way through next week. Things are looking really good if you'd like it warmer than normal and drier than normal for the Wenatchee Valley, because that's the long-term outlook. That's the national map. We don't show that to you too often, but we're doing it today because we can. In fact, the entire west coast of the United States, right into the Rockies, we'll see temperatures either well above normal or slightly above normal, and your precipitation graph on the right-hand side of your screen has the precipitation slightly below normal. So we're looking for a mild and dry weather forecast again for the west coast of the United States. Look at the east coast next week. It is going to get really cold in the Detroit, Cleveland, all the way up to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. They're going to get real cold next week. Not so much here. That is next week's long-term forecast. So there you go. Pretty good show for you today. Now tomorrow, my guests will be Paul Atwood, the director of the Wenatchee School District's all-district musical called Matilda. Not only did Paul come in and pay me a visit last week, but the two leads, yes. The title role of Matilda is being played by two young ladies who go to the Wenatchee School District schools, and they both sat in with me for a pretty fun, pretty fascinating interview. These girls are just full of energy and full of excitement. I can understand why it was such a difficult time for Paul to choose just one lead for the all-district musical, so he chose two. And that conversation you'll see tomorrow right here. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Plus, we'll preview on Thursday the big Bridge of Sportsmanship game, and we'll talk Wenatchee Wild Hockey on Friday. Don't forget to vote, all right? Provided the show isn't canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.